Hi, this is Mike Henriksen with O'Reilly Media here on the show floor at Velocity 2011. I'm here with Chandra Patni. And Chandra, is this your first Velocity? And if it is, what do you think of it?
Yeah, it is my first Velocity conference, and I'm really excited to be here. I have been building distributed large-scale applications for a while now, and right now I work for the startup, and we are doing something very large-scale there. And this is a conference where I not only get to learn with how to scale the old systems and consider their performance, but the new technologies like Node.js, which is very, very interesting. And also some of the upcoming trends in performance, like the way the web performance in, for instance, CSS is changing. And I'm going to Nicole Sullivan talk in the next session.
Yeah. So do you see yourself fitting in either the web ops or the DevOps group, or are you kind of a hybrid? Because have you been in both? Or
Yeah, I'm hybrid. So mostly I do web ops myself and not only write applications but deploy and run them. And also DevOps is where I have worked with the operations team to automate the infrastructure. And now also there's this interesting trend going on right now, which is with the automation, is that your developers are also responsible for doing the infrastructure and automation of infrastructure. So in a way, those roles are fusing, I think, and they are becoming one where with the advent of cloud, you automate your infrastructure and you automate your code and you automate your builds. And obviously, your code is about automation of some business process or a problem. So they are kind of converging into one single stream.
So one thing I've been hearing here lately is about Agile. Do you think Agile software and Agile methods have a place with web ops and DevOps and the whole Velocity area?
Sure. I think the processes are tools that can apply to problems, and clearly the infusion of Agile into the way you do your infrastructure has led to the emergence of DevOps as a movement. So yes, and not only I would say you can apply Agile, but you can apply other methods like lean startup type of ideas over to these. However, I think the infrastructure still fits into a problem of where your infrastructure, what's going to be, so the Agile is a better fit than the lean startup type of idea for the DevOps. Absolutely.
So what else do you have planned for today? There's a lot of sessions and a lot of events going on. So what are you up to for the rest of the day?
Yeah, so I'm going to go to Nicole Sullivan talk next, and then I'm going to go to Yehuda Katz's talk. Yehuda Katz.
And what is Nicole talking about?
Nicole is going to talk about CSS 3 and HTML5 performance, and she talks about this idea of object-oriented CSS and the way you avoid, for instance, a specificity war in CSS, and you write your CSS in a planned, structured way, and it's very interesting. And actually, recently I ran into this bug where the layout of we were refreshing this page every 3 seconds for providing some near real-time information, and the page, the browser has taken over 100% CPU because the page layout was changing, and it was the layout which was causing the 100% CPU. So, and with rich applications in the browser, increasingly your back-end and front-end performance is important. And what Nicole talks about is really how do you make your CSS performant, not only performant, but also maintainable over time, and you avoid these bad practices. And for instance, if you look at the literature out there, it mostly, and generally the style sheets, right, they would talk about styling element and then styling by ID, while Nicole talks about mostly doing styling over CSS classes and using the cascade and having a structure and identifying these patterns in your site. So it's very, very interesting.
So it sounds like CSS can be changing the whole landscape here as well.
Absolutely. I think in CSS area, it has been the wild, wild west so far. We have the tools, and we have been using them willy-nilly, and usually you end up pulling a sledgehammer for each problem because it looks like a nail. While what's going on with Nicole's work in CSS is that we are identifying the patterns in CSS and applying them, and coming up with the best practices. Although I hate the word best practices, but it's codifying the good tool, the good parts and the bad parts, and sort of identifying the patterns that we should be using and practices that we should be using.
Excellent. So, Chandra, enjoy your afternoon, and thank you for your time.